ML Sports Take brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Burn Dairy, and Welch & Company Jewelers. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Pretty cool tonight, Giants-Cardinals, Rickwood Field, another celebration, a rich celebration of the Negro Leagues. But didn't all this take a little too long? I mean, Jackie Robinson in 47. Segregation should have happened way before that, decades before that. And, you know, recently I feel like we're on a real heater celebrating the Negro Leagues, right? I mean, I know Willie Mays just recently died, and you know, the tributes and all these different things, playing at Rickwood Field tonight, and, you know, Hall of Famers going into Cooperstown and all that from the past couple of decades. And, you know, Buck O'Neil should have gotten in, and then he dies, and then he gets in. Like, you can't fix that stuff, man. It's just, you got to do it when it matters, when people are alive and when they can see it. Jackie Robinson, it was amazing in 47, but it should have happened way long ago. The statistics for the Negro Leagues being implemented officially just recently with Major League Baseball should have happened a long time ago. Josh Gibson, in his era in that league, he was Yogi Berra, Johnny Bench, Roy Campanella, and then some. Carlton Fisk, I mean, you know, Pudge Rodriguez. I mean, the guy hit a ball basically clearly out of the old Yankee Stadium. I mean, him, Satchel Paige, Cool Papa Bell, John Lloyd, I mean, all these different players. Or Oscar Charleston, are you kidding me right now? It's taken way too long to celebrate the Negro Leagues. Having said that, I do love what's going on. I love the Rickwood Field thing. I love Bob Kendrick and the Negro League Museum. I really got to get out there. It's a bucket list thing to see in Kansas City. People like myself and others wearing these kind of things, right? The hats and the gear, and, you know, the Newark Eagles and the Kansas City Monarchs and the Pittsburgh Crawfords, and all these teams that are being celebrated, and gear that's been worn. And you look at all these licensed companies with apparel coming out with all this great stuff for people to buy. And whether you're black or white or you're Asian or whatever the case may be, like wearing and, you know, celebrating and understanding the Negro Leagues. Go read the books. Go talk to Bob Kendrick, man. Go talk. I interviewed Monty Irvin in a van in Cooperstown once, talking to him about the Negro Leagues. It was one of the biggest thrills of my life. That was years ago in Cooperstown, a guy who played in the Negro Leagues and eventually became a big leaguer after Jackie Robinson, winning the World Series with Willie Mays in 1954 for the New York Giants. I mean, it took way too long, but at least we're at a point where it's constant celebration and constant, you know, education and understanding. Because as Bob Kendrick has said to me a bunch of times on my show, and I'm going to try to get him on again. I tried to get him on a few months ago and I couldn't track him down. But as I've said so many times, and as he has said so many times, you know, we are at the point where we're getting more of the word out there, and finally the celebration and the understanding, but it isn't at its final end, right? It's not at this isn't the final chapter, because there's never going to be a final chapter, because there was so much time lost. And Jackie Robinson should have happened way before, and the statistics should have been equal to the major leagues long before. I mean, if you listen to old timers listen to Ted Williams clips on the internet, or read what he said about Satchel Paige, what Barnstormers said when they traveled, you know, with Babe Ruth, and, you know, Negro League Barnstormers traveled with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and others, and traveled with Jimmy Fox, and traveled with, you know, Christy Mathewson and Walter Johnson. And as the years went on, go read what they said about Cool Papa Bell, about John Lloyd. You know, I think it was Ruth who said, you know, when it was John Lloyd was the black Babe Ruth or whatever, he said, no, he's better than I am. You know, that stuff was not hyperbole. It was not just thrown out there to make people feel better. Or, well, there's a lot of racial tension, so let me try to make them feel better about the racism. No. They meant it. You know, Ted Williams, again, talking about Satchel Paige, and, you know, banging on the door for Negro League players to get into the Hall of Fame way back in the 70s. You know, post-career, during career, whatever the case may be. You know, it's great that we're here. It's awesome that we have hats and shirts and jerseys, and the East-West Classic in Cooperstown and Rickwood Field tonight with the Giants and Cardinals and all these different things. It's great that we're here, but it should have happened a long time ago, man. Buck O'Neil dies, doesn't see him, you know, he's not alive to see himself go into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that stuff is so wrong, man, and you can't fix that stuff. You can't fix that stuff. You can't fix the wrongs from a long time ago. And I know Bob Kendrick would say it if he was talking to me right now, that, you know, he would agree that you can't fix the wrongs, but you certainly can make a lot of things right. And at least they have done some of that. But, man, you just wonder what would have happened during the lost years, coupled with what's going on now, right? With the statistics being added to Major League Baseball and all these celebrations, all this. What happens if segregation gets crushed in the 20s instead, right? right? What happens if the stats get added right from the beginning? Or at the very least 35, 40 years after segregation? You know, those things you think about, right? You do. But Rick Woodfield tonight, man, my eyes will be glued. I'll be flipping between that probably, and, well, I'll probably have that on, to be honest with you, and that'll be it because the Yankees play at 4 o'clock. ML Sports Take today, brought to you by our great, great friends over at Elevate Fitness of Syracuse, Byrne Dairy, and St. Bonaventure University's online Master of Arts in sports journalism. Make sure you log on to sbujournalism.com. That's sbujournalism.com, and you can learn a lot more at that link. It's an online journalism master's degree programs. You can check it out. You get your program guide right there. You can get started. Under 2 years, you can graduate. No application fee or GRE, GMAT required. 100% online, flexible for your schedule. Log on today to sbujournalism.com and check out SBU's online master's programs, including journalism as well. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.